Did the win by Tennessee with Will Levis showing up the way that he showed up to make them 3-4, despite sending Kevin Byard to Philadelphia? It's not like they sent him for nothing. They got Terrell Edmonds back and some picks. But did Will Levis showing up the way that Will Levis showed up, and suddenly DeAndre Hopkins, 0 touchdowns, suddenly has 3, and it was all manners of D-Hop touchdowns, including one in which he physically mugged the defender that was on him with no call and then was wide open in the most physical manner. But also, interestingly enough, when we were in London and talking to DeAndre Hopkins in the broadcast meeting prior to the game against Baltimore, he was saying his GPS numbers, he's running as fast as he's ever run. How fast did he look yesterday? He was running away from some people, wasn't he?
Very.
But Will Levis, you saw the photograph up moments ago, if you want to pop that one up again, of him hugging his family. These are the people who he spent a very long night with in Kansas City. And for him to do what he did yesterday, 4 touchdown passes, found DeAndre Hopkins 3 times, shows you he's a smart kid. Smart kid. You got DeAndre Hopkins. Go follow him. Go find him.
I told Chris that on Friday, Rich. I wonder if D-Hop said, "Look, Will, see me, throw me the ball a lot."
And then he does it in the old Houston Oiler uniform. You look like Dan Pastorini. You know what I mean?
Oilers #1.
Houston
He
Oilers.
got it done.
Houston
Right?
Oilers.
And he threw it all over the lawn. He looked terrific. And this was Will Levis after the game.
I always hope and dream for an NFL debut like this, but do you even find yourself, look back at the numbers and so forth, going, wow?
I mean, this is a dream come true for sure. But I mean, we have what time is it right now?
3:48.
Yeah, I got 12 minutes to celebrate it before we're on to Pittsburgh, as Vrabel said. So, but I mean, like you said, I've been dreaming of this moment as a kid my entire life, even just to touch the field in an NFL game, let alone get a win. Is incredible.
Good for him, man. Good for him. A long night in Kansas City. Titans draft him, and now he's pulling like Marcus Mariota type stuff for that uniform in that franchise, right? 4 touchdowns in his first game.
Just those two.
And how about this? There's only 2 rookie quarterbacks who won their first career start this year, and it ain't the guys who were drafted before him. It's him and Tyson Bagent.
Right.
That's it.
Wow.
We'll see if Jaron Hall might match that later on this week for Minnesota.
Crazy.
But Will Levis, how about that? That night he doesn't get drafted. He goes home to get drafted. And it wasn't C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young, who just got his first career win against C.J. Stroud yesterday. And it's not Anthony Richardson, who lost that opener to Jacksonville before getting injured, and now he's out for the season. It's Tyson Bagent, undrafted, and the kid who went undrafted in the first night, and Will Levis, well done. So I'm just wondering if this has caused the Titans to say, we're not going to trade Derrick Henry. Even though, you know how much Derrick Henry it would cost you on your salary cap if you acquire him right now? $5 million and change. That's it, because he's halfway through his salary this year. $5 million and change. That's all it would cost for Derrick Henry, and whatever you'd have to give up to Rand Carthon, the general manager of the Titans, to go get him. Man, if I'm your Dallas Cowboys, I'd do that right now.
But they won't, Rich. That's the thing. All these other teams make deals, and they won't. Watch, the Eagles are going to make it or something.
I would take.
Could you imagine?
Here's what I would do. I would call up Minnesota and say, what do you want for Trey Lance? Mm-hmm. You upgrade that draft choice, and then maybe flip it to Tennessee with a little bit more, and then you maybe get Derrick Henry. I'm playing just, armchair general manager here. Or do the Titans basically say, because of this acquisition by the Bills of Leonard Fournette, means we're not going to try for Derrick Henry, or it was too expensive for Derrick Henry, or the Titans have said, no, we're going to keep him, just to maybe put him in that uniform again, to give us one last glimpse and show this generation what Earl Campbell once upon a time looked like. When I'm like, that's as close to Earl Campbell in that uniform as you'll ever see anybody in that uniform again. That was amazing, those unis. But that's an interesting acquisition by the Bills. What does it mean for the Titans? Because if you're Tennessee, that's like, okay, Rick Dalton GIF. There it is. Right there. That's what the offense can look like with all due respect to Ryan Tannehill. Maybe he's available. Maybe you flip Ryan Tannehill to the Vikings.
Ooh, didn't think of that.
Okay. You flip Tannehill to the Vikings and you stay put with Levis and go to work.
Rich, getting back to what we said at the start of the show, and I said something, you said we'll get back to it. This is it for Tannehill, you think? He's not
I don't know.
That job back?
I don't how do you basically say let's go back to Ryan Tannehill right now when he's clearly at the end of his tenure there? And will Levis just look like that? You got to see what's next, don't you? Even though it's a short week in Pittsburgh. Oh, yeah. Talk about an assignment. But
ride the momentum.
Do it.
Number 10 with the dreadlocks.
There
Throw
it
him
is.
the ball.
There it is. Titans fans have got to be like, there it is.
Ride the mo.
That's Will Levis. You know.
And the 6 and 7 seed in the AFC is there. It's 4-3 Pittsburgh. It's 4-3 Cleveland right now. Cincinnati, the Jets right there. You're a game back. You're in the mix. You're sniffing it. So there's no reason to be sellers now.
That throw he threw to Westbrook-Ikine, too. It was a beautiful throw. It wasn't just all to Hopkins.
What did we hear the whole evaluation period? Guy's got a cannon. He was showing it off yesterday.
He was showing it off, and the Titans are 3-4. So how do you pull the plug on Henry and everything else? You're not looking Vrabel in the face.
Can't do it.
Right?
Got to figure the Raiders lose tonight, so they're going to fall off.
And I'll tell you what, I had a nice chat with Rand Carthon, the general manager, off to the side at the walkthrough in London, in Tennessee. He is full of energy, and he loved both Willis and Levis, saying that he liked them both. And I don't think that was just him, blathering in my ear.
We're not seeing any Malik Willis this year now.
I don't think so. Hey, man, remember the idea was like, we're going to see both of them?
Well, didn't
they immediately brought in Willis. Yeah. He fumbled,
and he was out.
And we never saw him again.
And Levis is truly worthy of a second look. So I don't know what that means for Tannehill. And if he's worthy of a second look and you want to go through the ups and downs to evaluate, get your lumps in now. You can get Tannehill to Minnesota where he can try and win something now. You're kind of doing him a favor in that regard.
Right.
Just professionally, send him to Minnesota. Let him do that thing. Let's see what you got from Levis. Hold on to Derrick Henry and see what's what.
Don't hate it.
Which is a way to evaluate Levis with DeAndre and Henry. What a great evaluation. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.